this game was a really long game. This game was about 46, 47 minutes long, and because of that, you're gonna see me fast forwarding through a lot of just the boring stuff. I'm gonna fast forward through parts where I'm just farming, where nothing's happening, there's no team fights happening, there's no action. But what I'm gonna do is I have a set of notes, and I've jotted down all the important parts where it's relevant for me to explain itemization, to explain team fighting, to explain like map rotation, to explain just anything that I think is really important. And I'll slow the video down at those times to go into detail about that, but it's still going to be a relatively lengthy video. So this is a video about mid singed, and um, the reason that it ended up being mid singed is because in solo queue I queue for top and mid. Usually whenever I get mid, I ask for top and people give it to me. This game I didn't ask at all. I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go mid-singe. The important thing for the very first wave mid-singe is you have to try and catch the wave right here and just push them in. A big part of playing mid-singe is just shoving your lane opponent in. But, yeah, so whenever you're playing mid-singe, your level 1 and 2 are really important because that's when you're going to get harassed the hardest, because level 1 and 2 is when you push the slowest. And to mitigate that, to help mitigate that, I'm running a certain set of masteries, or it's just the normal one that I've been running. It's 12-0-18, but instead of the scaling unyielding mastery, I'm actually running the regen, the HP regen mastery, and I think that's the only major difference. So that, in combination with two refillable potion charges at level 1, is enough to help you push the first 2 waves. And because those first 2 waves get pushed, you're able to back and buy Rejuve Bead, which is what I'm going to do here. So now that I've explained masteries, I'm going to actually go into detail about the runes. I'm still not sure for this season what rune page I think is the best. And once I find a rune page that I think is the best, I'll go into detail on that. But this game, I just decided that I was gonna run just movement speed quins, health per level yellows, armor yellows, and MR per level blues. It's like a really mixed all-around balance. Gives you a little bit of everything. So here, you will notice that I'm still just, doing the same strategy where I'm just shoving Victor in. I'm not letting him harass me for free. I'm not taking, like, I know that I'm going to get harassed whenever I'm going for this farm, but the trick is you just want to shove him in and keep him shoved in, because that minimizes, 1, the amount of harass you take, and 2, it maximizes the amount of farm that you get. Boarded that bush right there, saw that Graves were over the wall, immediately back off. I don't want to fight with Graves right now. And just back to farming. So I don't have any corrupt or refillable potion charges, and I see that Victor has enough mana to harass me still. So I back off for a bit, but then he ends up pushing too soon, so I just go back in and get whatever last hits that I can with poison, because he blew his mana on the wave. See how he has very little mana? That means that I can farm this wave without taking too much damage. All I can do is auto attack me here. And then I just end up shoving the wave more. So a crux of this strategy is going to be rushing Z0 portal and then using that Z0 portal to apply pressure to mid lane, and making it so that the enemy mid laner has a lot of trouble leaving lane and has to deal with the pressure from the Z0 voidlings. So yeah, I decided to go for the Null Magic Mantle, Rejuve Bead, and then the Dark Seal and Rifle Potion are standard, but Null Magic Mantle for magic resist, Rejuve Bead for a little bit of sustain. Since mid lane is quite a short lane, you don't really need boots super duper early compared to like if I was going top. If you're going top, you need boots really early. If you're going bot, I guess boots are kind of important. I don't know a lot about bot lane though, so I'm gonna not go into too much detail on that. But here I'm just walking up to him, getting a fling, trying to give him damage for whenever he's damaging me. Another thing that you'll notice after I get Zerat is that Point Runner actually helps you run from base all the way back to your tower very quickly. And Victor ends up having a lot of trouble keeping up with my pressure. So here I'm just sitting on my ward because I know that he doesn't have vision of it. This is important. Because of the new plants in the jungle, you kind of usually want to take some quick trips in the jungle just to scout out what plants there are and see what you can do with the healing plant or something like that. I ended up running top to gank Teemo because Echo told me he didn't have flash in the chat, and I was flinging him and Echo and buy, and we get a free kill for it. Victor is roaming bottom, so I'm not losing like too many CS at the tower. And then he ends up just backing off, and as you see, the tower's not even shooting these minions because he let it freeze in an awkward spot. Because my ult's still running, I have enough AP to actually clear these little raptors. This is something that's really important on mid Singed, is these raptors right here, and these raptors right here. Every time you clear them, that's 70 gold. If you get the last hit on all the small raptors, that's more than a cannon every single time you go to steal those raptors from your jungler and the enemy jungler. And it's not very hard for Singed to do either. It's actually pretty easy for Singed to clear those. You just poison them and kind of kite them a little bit. As you can see, with a combination of my MR per level runes and my null magic mantle early, I have 74 MR already, and that's only going to get higher as the game goes on. Go back, buy my Negatron, get a cloth armor for the other part of Zz'Rot, the chain vest part. Just run wreck to mid and start farming again. This early game is mostly just going to be farming. So Graves is mid. I know that I don't want to stay mid that long while he's there, or at least I can't. It's not that I can't stay, it's that he's gonna prevent me from playing aggressively. He just cleared up my control ward. That means he could be anywhere in the river. I'm making danger for my bot lane, so they know to back off. I know that he's in the area, so I'm kind of staying away from that right here. My bot lane's pinging that they're coming, and I know he's sitting in there, so I run up to him with my ult on. I try to get the Goofling, but I miss, but he already used E to engage on me, so we end up just poisoning him and getting a bunch of Lucian ult hits on him and killing him pretty quickly. And once again, because he's dead, I can just go ahead and kill these raptors right here, no big deal. Get a free 70 gold on the way out. I noticed that, alright, I was watching Victor after that fight, and I saw that he was pretty low on mana. And because he was low on mana, I figured he'd probably recall after that wave, and ended up being right, he recalled, so I get a free wave here that ends up denying him a little bit of CS. Gonna back up just a little bit. So this is something that's important. I finished Zz'Rot there, and I want you to notice something. As I finished Zz'Rot, I was in my base. And for those that don't know, this structure right here counts as a tower for the purpose of Point Runner. Coming out of the teleport, I still have the Point Runner bonus. I have 408 movement speed coming out of the teleport. So something to remember with Zz'Rot is if you ever have your Zz'Rot and you're teleporting out from under your own tower, you will retain that movement speed bonus from Point Runner for a little bit after you complete your teleport. Just like a short little mini speed buff. Nothing super impactful, but still pretty important if you can make good use of it. Just teleport bottom, end up not even getting an assist, but I kind of zone Tahm Kench out. Whatever, it's just an average play. Back to more farming. Put my Zz'Rot in mid. This is something that's really important with this strategy, is whenever you finish Zz'Rot, you just throw it in mid, and as you can see, he has a lot of trouble keeping up with these Zz'Rot. Voidling's already got to spam the BM. But even with blue buff, like, he has trouble clearing these out, just because every fourth one just starts to like two-shot the caster minions or the melee minions. I just sit back here. This little area right here in front of the tower is really good if you have Zz'Rot, because then you can use Point Runner to just like try and dodge his abilities. I got hit there, but you see what I'm trying to say. You can try and dodge abilities. I ult and Ghost, and he ends up blowing Flash. I back off here, but for whatever reason, Vi decides to be like, hey, let's just go in. She ends up dying for it, sadly. But I mean, you know, nothing really bad happened besides Victor getting a free kill. So, yeah. Set up by boots and a control board. Pretty standard stuff. Team's getting shit on everywhere. Also pretty standard stuff. They take our blue buff. So at this point, Victor's had like, he's had like 3 blue buffs already, but he hasn't like done anything super special with it. I know that they're flanking me from that ward and Tahm Kench ult, so I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go over here and try and recall. They end up scouting me, which is pretty unfortunate. So I decided to just try and kite it with my poison. And they chased me for quite a while. Victor ends up putting his W down here, so I take the shortest path out, which is through that little line right there. And they just keep blowing like everything on me, and I'm just like casually walking away. Whenever my ult comes up, I just pop it and run away, make sure I'm safe. And because of this Z-Zerots here, they're gonna have trouble even like pushing it as pushing it like they normally would. Next item, Swiftness Boots. I want you guys to see something. From here to here, 495 movement speed. From there to there, 495 movement speed. I run from my base to my tower with 500 movement speed. That's very, very fast. With Swifty, Z-Zerot, and movement speed runes. And yeah, with these are done, I just keep doing this for a while, at least until I finish Righteous Glory, just farming with the portal. It's not that big of a deal if I have to recall, because I get back to, like I said, I get back to the 1545, so we're going to time that. I get back to that tower very quickly. Takes about 23-24 seconds to run back to the tower from base with this setup. So less than the time it takes for one creep wave to even spawn is the time it takes me to run back to the tower. Even with 3 people, or I guess yeah, Tahm Kench, 3 people, they still can't like get to my tower to hit it with this Z-Zerat. Ideally Echo would be pressuring these side lanes a lot more, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. And bot lane's getting shoved in. But ideally, if I have 3 people in mid lane just trying to push onto me, it shouldn't be a problem for my side laners to get pressure. So I'm just going for a TP play here. Again, I'm teleporting out from under my tower. Find the Teemo, fling him in, and then because I'm so fast, I can just chase the Graves down and get the last out on him right here. Teleporting out from under my tower for that Z-Zerat bonus movement speed, no big deal. Put the Z-Zerat there because I'm gonna take this tower since Ezreal's top and their jungler and support and top lane are gonna die. So yeah, now that they're dead, I decide to take this tower, proxy the wave, auto attack it with red buff, and it dies. So after that, I decide to just walk over here, put my ward down, and recall because my AD carry is holding the mid lane. I don't have to worry about it that much. Next item is Catalyst, the Protector, and the second half of Righteous Glory. I don't remember what it's called. Crystalline Bracer, I think is what it's called. But yeah, I'm building into Righteous Glory second. It's really odd by Zyra, or not Zyra, by Teemo to just sit here, but I try to get the auto on him to slow him, ends up blowing his flash, no big deal. Because Victor wasn't there, I decided to get a few autos in the tower. Ends up not working out very well. He chases me with his ult, but I don't know. I didn't take that much damage from it. Then a fight breaks out here, so I see that Ezreal eat forward. Echo jumps onto him, gets stunned. Ezreal jumps in it, or gets eaten by Tahm Kench, and I fling Tahm Kench. So basically, that's like getting a fling on 2 people for free. And then I chase down Teemo, and we kill him. Pretty basic stuff. At this point, I'm 5-0-3, so I'm getting really fed. But yeah, if something just to remember, if you're chasing a Tahm Kench and their AD carry, wait for the Tahm Kench to eat their AD carry, because then you can just fling Tahm Kench and it's like you flung both of them for like the cost of one fling. But here we're just playing wave player against Victor. It's a war of attrition. Echo dives the tower for whatever reason. Vi ends up showing up. She nukes him down pretty quickly, but ends up dying for it in return. It's a bunch of free kills for Victor, but yeah, it's whatever. Put my Zz'Rot back down. Go to clear a wave. Tahm Kench is gonna end up holding that tower, but not the end of the world. But as you can see, my Zz'Rot Voidlings are doing work to that tower slowly, while my tower is still pretty healthy. So next item, Righteous Glory and Blasting Wand. The Righteous Glory is complete. Blasting Wand will turn into the new Rylai's. Rylai's being cheaper. The cheaper cost is nice, but you definitely notice the loss of stats too on Singed. The loss of 100 health feels a lot worse than I thought it would, and 25 AP definitely does feel worse than I thought it would. But overall, like it is a little bit better than old Rylai's. Maybe not a little. It is a good amount better than the old Rylai's for Singed. But it's not like the game breaking change that I thought it would be. It's just a little bit better, medium level better. It went from being like, oh no, I have to build Rylai's now, to, oh, I can actually get a Rylai's if I need it. So we find Tahm Kench here. I get the Goofling on him. Immediately we both turn on the Victor, and he ends up surviving with like some ridiculously low amount of HP here. Yeah, he survives with like 200 HP, like one to two auto attacks, and then I have to get out. Vi dies, and then this ends up not being a very pretty fight, but just gotta exit the fight at that point. I think Echo teleported into a team mushroom. But yeah, unfortunate team fight. Lucian gets pooped on. Team just gets pooped on, but as you can see, even though my team's getting pooped on, they have a hard time pushing the tower because my Zz'Rot's still pressuring the lane. So here I noticed that Vi's coming down the lane, and because I know she's coming down the lane, I fling Tahm Kench back into her, and then she ends up getting the Q on him. Or actually she misses Q, but I just run in front of him and we chase him down and kill him. Take the last hit on purpose. Always take the last hit. Always steal the kills if you can. Okay, so here, I'm gonna back that up just a bit. Okay, so here I'm watching Victor, and the reason I'm watching Victor is because I have my ult Ghost and I have my ult and Righteous Glory up. I pop ult and Righteous Glory, and I chase him down under this tower, get the fling on him. Vi follows up, Zyra follows up, and we finally kill the Victor, and then we're able to push this tower down. Echo ends up getting caught over here. He dies. And then I just start zoning them out with my W and Poison. Zyra zones them out of it with her plant. And then we get a lot of damage on this mid tower. In hindsight, I probably should have auto-attacked it once or twice more than I did, but we still get it really, really low. And then we end up finishing it off a bit later. And for that, Lucian also finishes bot tower. So I finished Rylai's there. So 2345 Rylai's, Righteous Glory, and Zz'Rot with completed boots. Not bad at all. 6 kills, 5 assists, 0 deaths at this point. So running right down mid again. They still have trouble pushing my tower because of the Zz'Rot just denying the wave every so often. Team taking Dragon. Something else I did notice is that Victor and characters like Victor, like Cassiopeia, stuff like that, is so much less cancerous to play against now that they only have a 20% slow. It's like before, Victor and Cassia with a 40% Rylai's slow would perma-slow a Singed if he had Ghost, Ult, Righteous Glory, Zera, like everything. They just like if Saiyans with full movement speed items, ult, righteous glory, swifties with for slow reduction, everything, they could still kite him out and perma slow him and keep him from getting onto them. It's not nearly that bad anymore, thank God. I think the fact that like, or at least mages that could perma slow, like they were a big part of the reason why I hated playing in Season 6. But there was a lot of other stuff too that I didn't like Season 6 for, and a lot of it's gotten better. So that's good. I tell Echo that he should go mid and wave clear because he has range wave clear. He ends up listening. I get a flank teleport, and I just started to go right on a Victor because he is my main target. I end up flinging him, but then my team gets blown out by Teemo here. So I immediately decided to back off and like go help my team. We're all focusing different targets here. Vi goes on to Graves. She ends up having a flash out. Gets engaged on by Victor, who gets eaten by Tahm Kench. And then we try and follow, but I end up getting stunned into this little Victor Vortex thing and have to run away too. Just another 1-for-1 fight in this long hellhole of a game. So as you can see, they're pinging my mid tower trying to kill it, and they just can't manage to push the wave fast enough because of these Zera. So here, since I don't have teleport, I'm gonna stay with my team and let Echo push the side lane. If Echo's teleport was down and mine was up, I would be the one pushing the side lane, and I'm making sure to type in a chat to tell him how to do that. I'm also been telling him to build a Zera at this point so he can like pressure the side lane better, since for some reason he's pushing super slowly. But he doesn't listen to my advice and doesn't build a Zera for quite a long time, which is I think is a big part of the reason why this game ended up lasting so long. So here, I've tried to ping my team back, but they ended up fighting. A lesson for people who are in a situation like this: if you're being hard carried by one member of your team, in this case it's me, don't force a fight without that member of your team there, because you will lose the fight and end up throwing the game pretty hard. Echo ends up getting a return kill on Graves, but then he ends up dying to Ezreal getting chased down. So I already know that I can't really make a difference in this fight right here. Echo's gonna get chased down. So what I decided to do is just run it back down mid and try and take this tower right here with this Zera that I put on the way up there. So here I know that Victor's coming down. I tried to kill him. I get a lot of damage on him here. I fling him out away from his W, and then I see that Tahm Kench is coming, so I decided to run away. He's taking a lot of damage from the slow. I fling him back. He ends up getting eaten by Tahm Kench. Spat back out into my poison, but he gets a good shield off of his Q. And ends up living with like 40 HP. Yeah, about 40 HP. It's ridiculous, so I decided to run away. But as you can tell, he's a lot less cancerous to deal with. If that was old Victor with the old rallies, he would have just completely dumpstered me because that slow was broken. Keep taking those raptors. So my next item, I'm gonna build a Haunting Guise, and that Haunting Guise is gonna go into a Liandry's. Liandry's also got 100 gold cheaper, thanks, right? Okay, so here Echo decides that he's gonna go for a fight. I start wanting to back out, so I'm like running away, just pinging back. Vi goes back in for some reason, and she ends up dying. And at this point, it's a pretty failed fight. I fling Ezreal in, but he flashes out, and I have to run away. Just yeah, poor team fight. That team fight should have never been taken. And they ended up getting Baron off of it. I decided to push mid because you know what else can I do here? He was gonna go try and steal it, but ends up not working out. So this is important. They have Baron, but we're gonna still be able to stall it with the help of a Zera and like a good engage. So whenever the enemy team has Baron, you wanna try and find people who are by themselves, and once you find those people who are by themselves, you wanna pick them off and try and stop the enemy and try and just get Baron off of them. Because whenever they don't have Baron, that means they can't push a side lane when they respawn, and that means that the team, for the amount of time that that teammate is dead, are not going to push because they don't want to fight a 4v5 even if they have Baron buff. At this point, I'm spam pinging my team back because they don't know that they should back off when I'm not there, and then my team has Baron and they're contesting Dragon. So I'm just spam pinging them back. I put Zz'Rat over this wall. If you put it over this wall, you can, or if you put it here, you can actually do it from over this wall right here. So if you're just like running by, put a quick little cheeky Zz'Rat down and then just run away. Okay, so there I killed a pink ward, and I see that they're all over here. I pop Righteous Glory, we fling Graves, ult Graves. He ends up getting chunked pretty hard by me and Vi and dying. Then I decide to back off. Vi takes a lot of damage there. I'm just kiting in and out my poison. They're getting dotted really hard from Poison Trail. Teemo shows up over here, so I run back into the fight, and I fling Tahm Kench, and Tahm Kench dies, and I just run out. I'm gonna play that one more time because there was a lot of stuff going on in that fight. So I'm kiting away this way. They get caught by Zyra ult. I see Teemo right there, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I notice that they're all getting low, so I run back in, and I'm just spamming fling. End up flinging Tahm Kench, he dies. And then we all run away while Teemo gets dotted down by my Riley, and who's just destroying him. Get the healing plant. Team ends up being stupid and getting return killed. See, after they die, we decided to go, or I decided to go top with Lucian, but Lucian wastes a lot of time killing those instead of just pushing the wave, and then we end up not being able to take the tower because Teemo shows up. So yeah, Lucian lives from the Tahm Kench here because he makes a pretty good play and escapes with the use of the Blast Flower. Thanks, right? So here, I'm trying to think of what to buy, and I ended up deciding to go for a really late Seraphs. I don't finish it just yet even. I decided to go for a really late Seraphs because I was looking at my items and I'm like, I need a late game item. What can I buy that will help me out in this long game? And I should have bought an Abyssal, or I should have bought a Thornmail, but those two both would have been better items, but I decided to buy Abyssal, or not Abyssal, sorry, Archangels, because why not? But yeah, Abyssal probably would have been the better buy here. So you're gonna notice a fight going down in mid. I pop Ghost before I come out of TP. I pop Righteous Glory, chase Ezreal down. Ezreal dies through combination of me and Echo. I try to get onto Victor, but he flashes and Ghosts out. Then I try to get a fling on whoever else I can, but Graves backs up under the tower and I can't get to him. So we end up not even being able to get any objectives for that. But overall the fight was in our favor since we killed 3. Victor ends up coming back up for Vi, and then Lucian gets their turn kill. It's really messy. So here I noticed that this wave is holding up. I'm going to go try and kill this wave. Graves apparently notices his Zz'Rat and wants to go for it, so he sees me. This is really cool right here. He comes over the wall. I dodge the Q right there. I get the Courage of the Colossus shield, and I just fling him out and run away. In a situation where I normally would have died. So here, I'm trying to type to my team in chat and teach them how to 1-3-1, because this is a placement game, and people in low elo are not going to know how to 1-3-1 split push. I'm literally typing in my chat, Echo go to one lane, Violution, Zyra go to another lane, and I'll push mid. And it takes me a really long time to grasp this concept, as you're going to see. I ended up noticing that I have enough money to finish Archangel, so I just buy Archangel straight up, and it's going to stack pretty quickly, just because the completed Archangel stacks at 8 mana per tick instead of 4. So you get it in about twice the time, or in about half the time as it takes to get a tier fully stacked. So here we notice that Zyra gets sniped by Teemo. I end up going for the slow on Teemo. And we get the kill on him. And because that's happening, the enemy team is going for Baron. My team doesn't know what to do. You see how they're like kind of fumbling around? I'm just pinging the Elder Dragon, taking control of the situation and forcing my team to do Elder Dragon, because that's the absolute best move we can make since the enemy team was already got Baron. We couldn't go there and like take it from them. So I didn't pop my ult to kill Dima, so I pop Ghost and ult here, and I'm just gonna chase anyone down that I can. I find the Tahm Kench, get the fling on him. He gets killed. I try to zone Graves out. Lifesteal is OP, but he's only taking a decent amount of damage from the Elder Dragon buff, and Rayleigh's Leandry's just burning him down. We end up not being able to take that, but we end up going top instead to take the top lane tower. So that tower is down. We end up not being able to push here. So I'm just gonna fast forward. So I buy an Elixir of Iron there because I want tenacity, I want the health. And I'm just still taking up this Archangel's. You can see I bought it recently and it's already at almost 300 stacks. I mean, yeah, it is impressive to have it stacked that fast, but I should have probably bought an Abyssal or a Thornmail. Either would have been better just for the resistance factor. Not even counting the bonus 10% magic damage that you get off of Abyssal. Here, once again, I have to teach my team in chat how to 1-3-1 split push. Was hoping Teemo would be recalling in that bush, but he wasn't. Sadly. So here I noticed that Echo splitting bottom, and that tower is needing to die. So I just put my Z0 out right there, and Echo's gonna put his like over here or something, and they're just gonna both go to town on this tower while Teemo tries to defend it. And I'm still typing to my team in chat, go push top team, go push top, team, go push top. Lucian for some reason doesn't listen. I'm gonna spam ping him away here. So Lucian finally gets the memo and runs top, and we start our 1-3-1. So with this 1-3-1, as you can see, these Drought Voidlings are doing damage to that tower. Team's pushing top, and I'm going to push mid. And it's just going to be this way for a while, so I'm going to fast forward through all of it. But yeah, in just a short amount of time, these double Z0s have gotten this tower to about 35 health. So if Echo was just a little bit less of a pussy, he would have been able to kill it. So we all end up getting chunked, so I'm pinging my team back. And we're gonna end up backing soon, but yeah, but nothing. So I sold my Swifties for Merc Treads because I wanted them more MR and more tenacity, and then I bought another Elixir of Iron for more health and more tenacity. And we tell my team to go back to the 1-3-1 until something cracks in the enemy team's defenses. Put our double Z0 at bottom. Echo is really bad with his Z0 placement. This guy has no idea how to use it. He puts it back there. It's never going to hit the tower or the inhibitor. So they all group up over here. And we see that on the ward. So if Vi runs in, misses her Q, I pop Righteous Glory, ult, Ghost, everything. And I go for these two back here. End up finding Teemo. Teemo starts getting DPS down. I'm just spreading my poison as much as I can. They're all dying to it. I try to bait Graves back in, but he doesn't fall for it. Actually, no, he does fall for it, actually. Alright, I'm going to play the whole fight again one more time. in half speed. Okay, so Vi goes in initially, misses her engage. I pop Righteous Glory, Alt, Ghost, everything to try and get their backline who is back here. I see them immediately pop the active, fling Teemo in. They all, and I'm spreading my poison in this corridor, so these three are having a really hard time joining the fight. Echo's down bottom dealing with Victor. Tom ends up dying to poison, Teemo ends up dying to poison, and then Graves is over here just trying to play kites with me. He chases me because he thinks he can kill me. I bait him hard with the Seraph shield. As soon as he sees that shield, he backs off, but he's already gone too far. Lucian runs in, finishes him off. So yeah, in a team fight like that, just spread your poison as much as you can. Once you have Rylai's and Leander's complete, your poison will do damage. Yeah, so Victor was bottom, having his time wasted by Echo, and we just pushed mid after we killed 4 of his teammates. So Vi ends up diving for Victor here. We get the kill on Victor. And then we just end the game. I actually ended up having about 400 CS this game, which is pretty insane for mid lane Singed. But yeah. Mid lane Singed is not something that I would do every game, but it's just something that I pull out once in a while, and sometimes it works out really well like this. The basic idea of it, as you could probably tell, was to use Zz'Rot to stall the game out, to push your first tower down, push your second tower down, and use that Zz'Rot just to lengthen your laning phase and farm and get your core items, because after you get your core items, it's just like if you were playing top lane Singed, except top lane Singed farms a lot easier than mid lane Singed, but you can get around that by continually taking the Raptors, continually pressing your mid tower, and looking for good roams